But you're my bestie for life. Yeah, you're the family I choose. Yeah, you. The heartfelt till the end. We can get through this together. But you're my bestie for life. Yeah, you're the family I choose. Yeah,
Welcome back to New Birds, New Rules. Hi, Terry.
Hey, Sandy, how are ya?
Good. I'm so excited about last episode. We had so much fun doing Girls Night In and talking about your birth chart. She did a great job. I'm so excited.
I know. Yeah, she did. It's kind of scary how she pinpointed things and on live. That was great.
Yeah.
Next time you're up.
We're doing it
It's
private.
you.
I'm doing it privately. Well, let's tell everybody what we have in store for them today.
Well, today we're going to have Cindy and Steve Crescenzo on. They are co-founders of a successful communications consulting business. We're going to talk about the risks and rewards of starting their own company, the dynamics of being married business partners, and what it's like to welcome their son as the newest member of the team. We're going to start out with Cindy because she left corporate world to jump in and grow their own business. On a side note, everybody should know that Cindy is my sister and Steve, of course, is my wonderful brother-in-law. Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Terry. Hi, Sandy. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're excited to have you here, sister.
I'm really excited too. This is very fun. It's very crazy that my sister and her wonderful best friend are now podcasters. I'm like,
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
who are we?
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Going from singing Love Shack out on Wisconsin Dells Parkway to a
Going
podcast.
from visiting you at DePaul University way back in the day.
Getting me in trouble with my
gosh.
RA.
We almost got you kicked out.
Whatever he is today. I made it.
You did.
That's exactly right.
Let's start talking to Cindy. I'm really intrigued by your story, Cindy, because I wanted to hear about the moment that you knew it was time to leave your corporate job. Like, tell me what that was like.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy, right? It's I was at the time working in the nonprofit arts world of Chicago, which was crazy rewarding. The bad part of that is that it was also a time where my mom was very sick and going through chemo treatments. And between my sister and myself, we were dedicated and committed to be with her every step of the way. So my lovely husband,
Yeah.
Steve Crescenzo, at the time already was running his business, Crescenzo Communications, which we're known for now. And but he was just a one-man show. And just saw me struggling to figure out, okay, how many paid days off do I have? How many times can I call in sick? It just was a real struggle. So I was very incredibly fortunate to have a partner in life who was like, Sin, how about this idea? I'm kind of flailing in certain areas of running my own business, and I know that you'll run with it and be successful. How about you come to work with me? And that way you can have a flexible schedule and allows you to be there for your mom. But why don't we go into business together? So that's how it all started. And it was really, really crazy. So I'm not sure there was a moment that I knew, like, now's the time. The situation just kind of presented itself as life does, right? It just kind of unfolded.
Life circumstances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was like, do I do this? Because there's many scary elements to it, but it was an offer I could not pass up at the time because it definitely gave me that gift of just being there for my sister, my mom, and just my family as a whole. So very cool.
Yeah. Which is actually the most important thing, right? I mean, we talk about careers all the time, but the most important thing is your family and being there.
It's
for sure.
so true.
So you said it was scary. Yeah. Yeah, totally. And you said it was scary, to overcome that. And I guess there is that fear of walking away from a stable career. But at that time, your mind was really just in other places, right?
It was all over the place. And then, Steve said to me, obviously my worst fear was, oh shit, like, when am I going to get paid? Like, I don't have a guaranteed paycheck on the 1st and 15th
Right.
anymore, right? But you have to know I was in my late 20s. Was I in my late 20s, Steve? I think I was in my late 20s. So very young in my career, but also had a lot of experience under my belt. And it just was a time where I said to myself, you know what? Now's the time to do it. If it doesn't work out, at the end of the day, if I'm not making enough money to make ends meet or to contribute positively to this business, I am at a time where I will go back and get a job. But this little window of time, like let's jump in with 2 feet, figure it out, and see if we can make it work, right?
What would you say to somebody who's thinking maybe this is too risky or I'm not ready yet?
I don't think you're ever ready, number one. If you choose to go out on your own, it is such a amazing adventure. It's such a really cool feeling when you start to put your heart into something and it forms into a career, a lifeline. I've made the best of friends doing what I do for a living. But it's never the right time, right? There's always going to be something. I just would really, I don't want to say just throw all caution to the wind and just be like, screw it, I'll do it no matter what.
Right.
I always just thought, what's my plan B? If it doesn't work out, what am I going to do? And I just kind of thought about that ahead of time. So
Right.
if there was something in the back of my head, should I, can't pay the bills that month, I would be like, okay, I need to start thinking about plan B. And I didn't want to think about it at that point. So
Right.
my backup was just start all over again in the corporate world if I had to.
Right. And I think any women listening now who are contemplating that, like, that's the best advice. Have plan B. You know what you want to do in plan A. Like,
That's
you
right.
think you know what you want to do, but you have to plan B and maybe plan C,
That's
like,
right. Yep.
that's the biggest piece of advice I would tell any woman who's thinking about jumping out on their own. I totally encourage it. Like, because you can't grow without taking a leap of faith and taking a leap and trying things.
That is true.
And maybe it doesn't work out, but you learn from it and you grow.
Well, I just think too, you'll never look back on life and be like, oh, I tried and it didn't work out. And I just bounced back into something else. You will
Right.
have regrets looking back on life going, oh, I really wanted to and I should have, but I just couldn't.
Right.
I think that's important to remember.
I think so too, because you can't live life with regrets. We're only here for a short amount of time. So
That's right.
if you want something, I think it's more important to try and go after it and never listen to the naysayers.
That's right. Lock them up.
Never listen to them.
Right.
Block them out.
Absolutely.
So we're going to go into now working with your spouse.
Yeah.
And bringing
that's
on,
fun.
and we will be bringing on, I like to introduce my favorite brother-in-law, Steve Crescenzo. Hi, Steve.
Yeah, hi. I was quiet for a long time.
It really
I know.
was hard for
You,
you.
you were very quiet. You did a very good job.
You did great.
Thank you.
You did great.
I'm glad you had me on, ladies. And I have a couple ideas for how to improve the show. I made some notes.
Okay, well,
Let's talk
we'll
about.
go over
let's
those.
talk- Let's talk about
We'll
the
go over
title
those later. Yes, we'll go over those later.
Title.
We're here talking about Cindy and your business
all right,
and
okay.
working with you. Yeah,
Just think
Steve's
about
a
it.
Let's talk
handful
about you
people.
first, Steve, and then us later. So let's talk about one thing I am curious about is like, how do you guys divide responsibilities and can you guys talk about like how you complement each other? I would love to hear it.
Yeah, I think
In
when
work,
people always ask us,
professionally,
how do you
yeah.
do this? Because I'd kill my significant other if tables were turned.
Oh, I'd kill Steve in a heartbeat.
Well, the thing is that,
Oh my Lord! Can you imagine me and Terry?
oh, you guys, that's a whole
No
other
way.
No.
But I think like the thing of the fact of the matter is that Steve and I, although we are both in corporate communication industry, we do very different things that complement each other. And I think that really truly does help. he understands what I do. I understand what he does, but we definitely bring different skills to the table. So it's a matter of just acknowledging and respecting that and giving each other space to do what we do and run with it. And what else would you say it is, Steve?
I would say that, as Cindy mentioned, I was running the business by myself for about 6 years. And I was very good at what I did. I'm good at three things in life, not including cooking. Good at three professional things. And that is writing, consulting, and speaking. And when I was running the business, I was very good at those things, and I was making money. I was making enough money, but I wasn't invoicing, and I didn't have a marketing plan or a business plan or a budget or discipline or nothing.
You not disciplined?
I know. Odd, isn't it?
So when Cindy says, I was really nice to ask her to come and work for me.
With you.
I mean, sorry.
There you go, Cindy.
Yeah, I thought it'd be 4 weeks. That lasted about a week. I thought that she'd come in, run the business from a marketing side, a business operation side, run the budget, run the marketing. Well, she came in and she's as creative as I am, and she's a great speaker, she's a great writer, and she's a great consultant too. So she's got all my skills, and she runs the business. She deals with the accountant and the IRS and the budgets and the marketing and all the technology. We don't even have a designer, and yet we're in the communications business. Cindy does all that too. So I think we do split it up pretty equally. Cindy does more, which is good.
So
I do more of the day-to-day, but I will say that Steve, he's the one that pushes this business forward, right? Like, so he's constantly like, okay, well, now how about this idea for a new workshop series? And then, it is. And if you've ever seen Steve speak, or you could look him up on YouTube, Steve is kind of known of breaking the rules of corporate world. Like,
I call it new rules, new roads.
There you go. That's your new workshop.
So creative.
That was one of my new notes for improving the podcast. Was it changing the title to Steve's Rules, Steve's Road?
Oh yes.
All right.
You guys take that one and file it away. Yeah.
So
Noted.
How do you handle it when things do get stressful? I mean, because you guys work together all day, you live together, like when things get stressful, because I can imagine that they do.
Oh yeah.
How do you handle that?
Well, I think it was easier before perimenopause. Have you heard of something called perimenopause?
Oh, this is the wrong podcast to be on for this.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep talking, Steve.
Yes.
Yeah. Steve, you are our first guy guest on here.
Yeah.
And
representing well.
Representing well.
All kidding aside. It does get stressful sometimes, of course. You run your own business, and it gets stressful with financing, because when you work for yourself, you don't want to ever say no to a client. So you end up either overloaded, and that's stressful, or you don't have enough, and that's stressful. And sure, you always have this stress hanging over you. Do we have enough to pay? Do we have enough? Now we have actual payroll with Zach. Do we have enough to pay him? Do we have enough? So it is stressful, and I just think you respect each other. And if she tends to stress out more than I do, to be honest. No kidding. I mean, I have ongoing anxiety about life in general, but when it comes to the business, I don't really stress out that much. So I don't know. I mean, we've gotten in probably 20 years of doing this. I think we've gotten in 3 fights, work related. Probably 3.
I don't know if it's fights. It's more like disagreements of like what we need to do. You guys, in one of, I think was it your first episode you talked about boundaries? Was that?
We had a whole episode on boundaries. Mm-hmm.
That's very tricky in this life that we live, because so many
I can imagine.
colliding, right? We've got personal, professional,
sexual.
Marriage. Like it's parenting now. It's kind of bananas, and I find it the most challenging to figure out what do those boundaries look like, because again, you work for yourself, especially a husband-wife team. This is how we pay our mortgage. It's how we're trying to pay to raise a kid. It is you have trouble setting boundaries because you're like, it's bad mojo to turn anything down. Like, we got to do it.
I just want to reiterate one thing that Cindy said, and that is, there never does seem to be a right time to do it. If you wait, it's like having kids. There never seems like a right time to do it.
Right.
When I did it, I was going through a divorce when I launched my business. I was giving every penny I had to my ex-wife. I didn't even get a lawyer. Never got a lawyer. Gave her the house. Started from scratch with like a couple of pans. And Cindy. And I did my business, but those first 10 years, man, I was traveling every week for business, and I would land at the airport. Instead of going home to her, I go to Naperville, where my son lives, Naperville, and pick him up from school, take him to baseball, basketball, whatever, do his homework, put him to bed, go back to Chicago, do it all again. I mean, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, and yet, looking back, I did it. I mean, you find a way to handle it. You find a way to fit it in, to overcome the things. And Cindy had to put up with a lot because I was gone all the time, and she knows that Zach came first. Zach always came first, and she had to. It wasn't easy for her, and I give her a lot of credit for putting up with that, because now we have this wonderful kid who just agreed to come and work for us.
I know,
but it was tough, man. I mean, it's not easy.
It's not easy, but
I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah, you got the benefits front and center, right? Like the benefits way outweigh the stress of doing it, in my opinion. The lifestyle we've been able to build for ourselves, couldn't ask for better. Like, and never look back, right? So.
Right. And Steve, I do have to give you credit. I've always admired you for the way you parented through all of that. And it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen all the time. And when you see that happening and whatnot, I admire you. I've always admired you because you're a great dad.
Well, you're a great mom.
Yes. Well, thank you. Now tell me, I want to know, what are the ground rules? Like, you're talking about boundaries. So you have to set ground rules in business, ground rules in the house, and now ground rules with Zach coming on to the team. Well, so give me some ground rules you have in all of these.
I think I have an important one that I've been thinking about.
Okay.
So
do I know of this?
I think you do. I don't think I've ever articulated it to you, but you'll recognize it in a second.
Okay.
First of all, with Zach, before we hired him, I mean, you can't have a better father-son relationship than me and him, I don't think. But he still said, "Dad, when it comes to working for you, I want to report to Cindy." And I said, "Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So that's that one ground rule. The second one is, we have very different work habits, let's just say. Yeah. Cindy is the traditional, she's up at 8 o'clock every day, at her desk by 8:15. She works, she goes to Pilates every day. She gets to be about 5:36, and she's done. Like, that's it. She
clock out.
She works like a normal human being. I don't get up until I have the first meeting of the day. But I
even if that first meeting's at like 1.
That seems early to me, but yeah. But I work hard. I work different hours. I work in spurts, and I work in different hours. And if it was up to me, I would never schedule a meeting before 9. And I would probably, if I was by myself, as much as I love cooking, I love eating, I love drinking wine with Cindy, we do it every night. We stop at 6 o'clock, and we start preparing the meal, and we pour a glass of wine, and we stop work. If it wasn't for Cindy, I would probably grab a sandwich. As much as I love cooking, I would probably grab a sandwich and power through until 10 o'clock most nights, because I'm just getting going. But at 6 o'clock, we stop, no matter what. And I think that's important that I respect that with her, because I'm the one who has the oddball hours, right? So she wants to stop at 6 and have a life. And what do we say? It's time to come home.
Well, it's time to come home. So, we always, every day, we at least have 2 virtual meetings, if not more. That's the way our life works now. And we teach a lot of virtual workshops. So we're constantly wired up, tethered up, mic'd up, always. 6 o'clock comes around, and the physical action of putting all of that, I should have brought it over so you could see it. It's a plastic bin that we throw it all into.
This is the radio. They can't see it.
I know. And it's labeled Steve's office. And I throw everything in the plastic bin, and it goes off to the side. Like, we are coming home. That's our coming home.
Yeah, by the way.
That's our commute.
By the way, Cindy has an office, and I have a box.
That's what happens when you get up at 8:15.
Right. You've got to put the hours in, dude, to get an office.
I do think that's the biggest thing. And I also think the other thing is just like, I always push her. She's like, "Okay, we're too busy. I can't go to Pilates." I'm like, "Absolutely not. I'll stop working right now. I'll go sit outside on the steps. You're going to Pilates."
That's true.
So you got to respect that. You got to.
That is seriously my sacred
I
time.
love that.
It's my thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
We also
Yeah,
have
I love the balance that you guys.
yeah, you have to try to find it somewhere, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
We also have a rule as far as, you bring on a new employee that is your son and he's only 26 years old. He'll be 26 July 19th. But man, they communicate differently. It's funny, we're a communication company. So like email is not we might as well chisel something in stone if we email them.
Right.
Like what are you, everything is instant message, text. So
Yep.
we made a point to make sure it was a Microsoft Teams chat for work stuff. And rarely, I mean, sometimes you do it on accident because you forget, but rarely do we put any kind of work request comment in our family text thread.
Text thread.
That's
Mhm.
like a big no. It goes into Teams, put it over in there, and it's understood that if it is after 6:00, you don't have to look at it.
And I'm shocked at how surprisingly good I've been about keeping boundaries with Zach. I mean,
Yeah.
for real, because I know that if it starts eating away at our personal relationship, then I can't have that.
That's right.
So I'm
Well,
really
see, I think that,
go ahead.
but I think it's, you say that, but I think you respect that relationship so much that it kind of is easy to respect those boundaries.
It is.
That's true.
So-
Absolutely
But
right.
I still will be like late.
You'll still be Steve.
Yeah, because I'm still at 10:00. I might be working. After our shows and after Cindy might go to bed early, I might be working. And I'm tempted to text them. I'm tempted to, and I don't. I'm really good about it. I'm really good about respecting his
Just do
time.
it in Teams.
Yeah, work-life
exactly
balance,
right.
all that stuff. But at first that was hard because I'm used to Cindy. Like Cindy, I can text at midnight. I don't care. But Zach, I don't want to do that to him. And
That's right.
so respecting his work-life balance, especially as a Gen Z person, I think he's loving it because he's working hard, he's succeeding, but he goes to the gym every day in the middle of the day, which he couldn't do before.
He's understanding the work for yourself lifestyle.
Yeah, if we don't have a ton of work on a Friday and it's 1:20, he's like, I think I'm going to try to go to the game. I'm like, go to the game. We're done.
Right.
We're locked up for the week. There's nothing I'm going to, there's no reason to sit at a desk till 5:00 if the work is done.
That's right.
Right.
So you guys mentioned that, the good outweighs the bad. And I think what I'm hearing is like the good is a lot about the balance of it all, right? Would you say that is the most rewarding part about working for yourself, or what would you say is the most rewarding?
To me, I think it's something Cindy alluded to earlier when I was not allowed to speak.
I love that line, by the way. That was awesome.
She said, she told a whole story about her mom, and that's very true. And you can say the same thing about me and now, and that is one of the reasons I started the business. First of all, I can't work for anybody else. I'm too stubborn. I'm too set in my ways. I can't work for anybody. I mean, I knew that when I was 32, I figured that out. And so I tried this and I was lucky that it worked. But the main reason I did it, other than not wanting to work for anybody else, is I wanted freedom with Zach. I was able to coach him in baseball. I was able to be at most things. I would have to drive to Naperville an hour and a half in traffic, and I'd go to church, which I hate. I hate the Catholic Church. And I would watch him do a one-sentence reading just so I didn't miss it, and then drive all the way home again. But I did that because I didn't miss a thing, and that's because I worked for myself. Now that translates to we have a boat in the summer. If we want to work our ass off over, put in 12 hours one day and then leave the next day at 3, we can do that.
Right.
I mean, it's not that when you work for yourself, you basically have a lot of bosses, but you can structure your time and your schedule so that you do get to do what you want to do. If we want to take a break off, we will find a way to make it happen. That's what I love the most about working for ourselves.
Yeah.
And whatever money you make,
It's yours.
It's yours. I worked for one. I made a lot of money at the one real professional job I had. I was doing seminars for somebody, and he made a lot of money, and I made good money. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm the one. I mean, he gave me my opportunity. I love the guy. But I was like, wait a minute, I'm doing it. I just got to invest in myself. I got to bet on myself.
That's right.
And I would encourage everybody, bet on yourself. I mean, would you rather bet on yourself or a company? Especially now, as companies are just no respect for workers, no respect. Just AI's taking over. It's wiping out a lot of stuff. They have only their own interest in mind. And so now I have my interest in mind, my son, my wife, and me, and our clients, obviously. But that's a big mind shift for a lot of people.
It is.
Right.
All of that.
That is it's interesting because it leads me to the next question I was going to ask, which is, do you believe that everybody has that entrepreneurial spirit that, inside them, or is it something that is cultivated, or where does that come from?
I think it is cultivated. I don't think everyone
I don't think
has
everybody
it
has
in
it.
them.
No.
There are some, like I have some very close friends that are like, I want the stability of these are my set hours. I know exactly how much is taken out for taxes. I know how much my insurance costs. That is a complete gamble day to day, it seems, when you work for yourself. I know a lot of friends, and it's not a bad thing. It's just they don't choose to do the entrepreneurial thing. They'd rather have
Right.
a set, more stable, for lack of better words, kind of lifestyle. And I get that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Right.
I don't think
So-
everybody has it, but I do think, Terry, I think that not everybody has it, but I think a lot more people have it and don't act on it.
Right.
I really do, and I think that I've always been a gambler, as you know, Terry. I like to gamble.
I know.
If I want to gamble, I'm going
Learned
to
how to play craps from you.
Yeah, and we did good, didn't we? We won some money.
We did do well. I haven't played it since that night.
We got
But it is a different mindset.
That's because somebody walked up and just like,
Yeah, somebody.
somebody.
The goop.
And exactly. And everything went downhill from
Yeah,
there.
we got mush.
We got mush.
But it is a mindset that if you work for yourself, it's always nerve-wracking. And also, it's more nerve-wracking than having a regular job. It's also, I think, far more rewarding.
Yeah.
Far more rewarding.
Yeah.
Having a regular job is nerve-wracking too, especially if you have a bad boss or you don't like what you do, or that's
Right.
everything's nerve-wracking in life.
Everything's
right?
in a state of flux.
Everything is stressful. I'd rather go through it on my own for myself and my family than for somebody else. That was always my
Right.
But I don't
So
think
you
it's
guys-
a black
go
market. You
ahead.
don't want to do that.
Right. You guys have talked about, bringing Zach in and, all the boundaries you've set up. But now, like, you're building this for, like, the next generation. So what does that mean to pass down a business and the business values to your son?
That's such a good question. I think we ask ourselves that all the time. What are we doing?
Yeah, it's terrifying. It's the most rewarding thing I've ever done, and it's the most terrifying thing I've ever done. And I think I took three big shots in life. One was starting my own company when I had zero money, and I was going through a divorce, like I talked about. Two was taking a chance and saying, Cindy, why don't we give this a shot? Knowing that then we had to make enough money to
Cover us both.
And cover my son, which was it's like having a third member of the family. There was no divorce money like paying bare alimony, like whatever, child support, whatever. It was like full time. And then three, the biggest thing, and I think this was the most scary thing, was hiring Zach, because now, Cindy was 28 or whatever when you started, 29.
Late 20s, yeah.
But she's an adult at that point, and I'm 30. I'm a little older, but she's an adult. She can make her decisions. I feel like okay, now I just put my son, his whole future, his career, on me now, which I can't think that way.
No, you can't.
He's going to make it. And he's doing great. I think we said we hired him for a year, right? We landed a big project, and I said we have this money. At the time, he happened to his company just closed because they were an affiliate of Google. Google cut off their funds, closed the company. So I don't believe in God, but I believe in karma and fate. Right when we got this big account, he lost his job. And I said, you know what, Zach, we have enough to pay you for a year. Come on in, and let's do this for a year. Let's try to make it work. And if it works,
let's build
we
something.
can hand you, you can actually work for yourself the rest of your life. If it doesn't work, you're going to go back into the workforce with more experience than you ever would have got anywhere else for a year. I mean, he's already ready to run workshops. He's already. So it was a big gamble, and it was scary. And
it goes back to having that plan B. If it doesn't work, what is going to happen?
Yeah, right.
He's going to go back, use what he's building things. He's building a whole other, it's exciting division of our company with a online community, and he's running the show, and that is experience that's gold. You could take that anywhere, right? So
right.
It's establishing that plan B, and we talked him through the plan B, maybe kind of inadvertently, trying to mentor him on how to be this entrepreneur. Always have a plan B. Make sure you know what that is. Right?
It's weird because fathers and sons are different. It's a weird relationship, I think. It's two guys and a lot of testosterone, and I'm mentoring him, but I don't want him to know that I'm mentoring him necessarily. So I don't want to say, Zach, do this, do that, do that. I try to lead by example, and the kid is just picking everything up. But a funny story, the first meeting we ever had with him, a work meeting, So we log on like this, right? And I know you can't see this on the radio, but the four of us are actually on a Zoom call. We're actually looking at each other. And I saw Zach's face. And I was like, what the fuck? What? What's he doing on the work call? And I had to move my screen over so his face wasn't showing because I just freaked out. I was like, why is Zach going to hear me start talking to clients? He's not going to approve. I'm not very professional. Oh my God. He's going to. Now it's like we're on the call with him 6 times a day.
That's right.
And today we're on a call.
You're used to it now.
The client had a question, and I threw it to Zach. No preamble, no prep, no nothing. I threw it to him. Then he talked for 10 minutes. Exactly the right thing. I mean, it's just really cool to see him grow. He's such a good kid.
It's very cool.
I'm so proud of him. He is a great kid. I love it, Z. I love my Z. So, Sandy, why don't you ask me about the lessons from the road?
Okay, so lessons from the road. So I would love for you to share with the audience your favorite success moment and biggest surprise from your journey.
What's our biggest success?
Is this should be this our own success together of our journey together?
It could be together, yes, separate. Or it could be separate. Either you could both answer.
All right, I know this was radio, so you can't really have time to think about it. But let me just think for a second. I didn't read that question.
We do questions, bullet questions, rapid fire. This is your rapid fire.
We love rapid fire.
I think our biggest success, it's a kind of a big picture thing, was making the business work while traveling a lot together, while being busy, and still raising a son in such a way that the three of us are inseparable. And that's especially true for Cindy, who's a second mom. I don't like using the word stepmom. She's a second mom. She had to come in here as a second mom, which in many ways is harder than being a mom. And be that, and a business owner, and now an employer of his. And it's been seamless. I mean,
it's been seamless.
That's my crazy big win. If you would have shaken me at 32 and said you're starting a company, when you're 58, here's what it'll look like, I wouldn't change a thing. Honest to God, I wouldn't change a single thing, and I really mean that. Maybe be a little more responsible with money so we could travel more now.
Yeah.
But that's it. What's yours?
I would say mine's more of a shallow answer, a little more shallow. But I will say, well, this is a fun moment. I love that you asked what was a success moment. A success moment I will never forget, and this obviously is pre-COVID, when we used to get paid, as Steve just mentioned, to travel the world. And that was a dream of both Steve and myself, is to get out and experience everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. We want to go out and just get out there. And the one time we were flown first class from Chicago all the way to Sydney, Australia, in a Virgin Airlines jet that had literally a bar in the top floor of the plane. And it was bananas. I'm like, who are we? Like, this is insane. This is nuts. Yes. We came from how the hell are we going to pay our rent to somebody is actually, they think we are worth paying this fee and then sending us all the way over to Sydney, Australia. I mean, that's a pretty damn cool feeling.
Yeah, that's pretty shallow compared to mine.
It is shallow,
mine is more about a family ties.
Yeah, but we already talked about
that. Was a success moment. Yes.
Success moment was like, shit. Cool.
Oh, let me give one more moment. I like the moment thing, Sandy, the moment thing. One of our clients, Roche Pharmaceuticals, brought us to Switzerland and then took us skiing in the Alps for a weekend. And I remember thinking on the balcony, the Alps are all around us, and we're going to go skiing later that day. And I'm like, what the fuck? How does this? A lot of it's luck. I really believe a lot of it's luck. I know we're talented. I know we work hard. I do believe that some people are lucky, not good. And I think we've had a certain amount of luck that happened. I really do. But that was a moment like, all right.
Yeah.
If it all goes downhill from here, at least we did this.
Yeah.
It was crazy cool. Yeah.
I love it. Well, what keeps you guys inspired and in sync together after all these years? Because you've been in business and married a long time.
20 years this September.
How would you answer?
What inspires me? I would say Steve.
I would say Cindy. No, I wouldn't say Cindy. I mean, I would say Cindy, obviously. What inspires me is I'll be very honest. Right before COVID, I had an infected hip. and I broke my leg. So I had
Did you know that, Terry?
I had a broken, infected
We're going to
leg.
have to hear about the broken infected hip
Well,
again.
I think you're going to do the whole podcast without it. It was life-changing.
Oh my God.
I had a broken
I'm
infected
so
leg.
tired of the broken infected hip.
I couldn't get out of bed, Sandy, for like 6 months, basically. I was in a lot of pain. I gained weight.
The broken infected hip is like has another chair at the Thanksgiving table now.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause
that's right.
everybody knows about the broken infected hip.
Yeah.
So during that time, a couple things that I'm proud of is that Cindy stepped up and she had to fly to Nebraska and do a presentation in front of the CEO, which normally I would have done most of that, and she did it all on her own. And I was there virtually. I mean, she just stepped up big time. But then I finally got recovered from that, and COVID hits. So I kind of went into a bad, dark place a little bit, and I was like, well, what? I can't travel. I love that. Couldn't see Zach for a while because he was quarantined. The work was drying up. I was like, everything I just did is going to get screwed by an incompetent surgeon that let my hip get infected, and COVID, and an incompetent president that let the COVID run well. So I went through a bad place. So one of the things that I'm super proud of, and what inspires me, I kept saying to Cindy, I was like, what's my last chapter? Like, I'm 58. I don't have any direction. I don't know what to do. And it's like God, although I don't believe in him, said, you're going to hire your son, and that's going to force you to get your shit together and build another business. So I said, even before I hired Zach, I said, son, I'm going to treat this like I'm starting my business all over again. That's the only way I know how to do stuff. I'm either going to go all out or I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do what I'm doing now. And then right when I decided that, Zach gets available. And that's inspirational to me, that I think, all right, if we can make this work and hand that over to him as a legacy, holy balls, that's inspirational.
Yeah.
Right.
That really is. It really is.
So before we move on,
I was just going to say, Terry, we remember last episode we talked about parenting, or was it last episode? One of the episodes where we were talking about like what motivates people or what inspires people, and a lot of the answers are our kids are
watching.
So
yeah.
Right, our kids are watching, and so this is a great example of that. Sorry, go ahead, Terry.
I was just going to say, before moving on to our other normal segments, Cindy and Steve, this is your opportunity. Tell everybody about Crescenzo Communications. What is the secret project going on, and what is Zach working on? And how can people get in touch with you if they feel they need your help?
I love that. Well, thank you for that opportunity.
Thank you.
Crescenzo Communications, we've all worked for organizations where we're thinking, what the heck? Like, who are these people that I work for? Why am I here? What connects me? Why do I do what I do? We help organizations communicate better with their employees, to just really help people, no matter what you do for an organization, understand how you contribute to success and what are we all trying to do together. So we do a lot of storytelling inside organizations, telling stories from the people closest to the work, helping leadership not sound so flippant, robotic, and corporate speak and grossness. We really help them deliver authentic connections with their employees. So it's incredibly rewarding to see your work literally change a culture of an organization for the better. We did just launch our first online community for communicators. So if you find yourself in HR, corporate communications, PR, employee engagement, any of that fun stuff, we have the special place built just for you, where it is peers mentoring each other. It's people sharing challenges and strategies and proven tactics, and it's a really supportive, wonderful place where we practice what we preach. We help people get through a lot of challenging issues. In this day and age, it's super hard out there to figure out the right message for your employees with so much craziness going on. So you can find us at www.crescenzocom.com. Because that's so easy to spell, it is CRESCENZOCOMM.com.
Would you say that small business owners could join your?
Anyone
they have
with
to learn
no
how.
Yep.
They have to learn how to talk to employees.
Anybody
So it's not just for corporations.
It definitely isn't, and that's a great point. We have had the pleasure of working with organizations of all shapes and sizes. If you have employees, and especially if you're a growing business, like slowly but growing, those growing pains are hard, and it's really hard to go from mom and pop place to, oh my gosh, I have 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 50, 100 employees. Like, it's as you start doing that, A, good for you, but B, it comes with a responsibility to understand how to engage your workforce.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on. I know you're staying on here because you're going to help us out with our next 2 segments. But I do want to say thanks for coming on and talking to us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having
fun.
us.
Thank you.
I just want to applaud what you two ladies are doing.
Yeah, I was going to do that. You know
what? It's my sister.
No, you were talking too long. It's my turn to talk.
Sister.
I've tried to, we're taking turns talking.
I'm so proud.
I wanted to say I'm proud of you guys for doing this, and it's awesome. I know you've both been bounced around a bit in life like everybody else. And I love this project.
Yes.
I love what you're doing. I think so many women would benefit from it.
And as you can attest, it's scary, right? You guys are like, I don't
I
know.
shouldn't say women.
It's
They're,
really,
probably more men
Yes,
should listen
people.
to it as well, but men aren't going to, I don't think.
it's
because
hard to put yourself out
stubborn.
there. And you guys are doing it and doing it incredibly well. And you should be incredibly proud of what you're creating. I love it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You guys are sweet. All right, so we're going to move on. Our next segment that we do is Your Turn, where we turn our looks to the audience. So Sandy's going to take over this one.
Yeah, so last week's question was, what's the best or wildest girls' night you've ever
Before you
had?
answer, Sandy,
And
we should ask Cindy.
Yeah. Okay, Cindy. What's the best or wildest girls' night you've ever had?
I'm right here.
Hmm.
I'm right.
I
I
have
have a
one.
feeling it has to do with El Jardín.
Hardeen.
El Jardín
Whistle.
Cantina with wearing a sombrero and having that whistle lady. If anyone's from Chicago, old school Chicago, you know what I'm talking about.
You know the whistle lady.
The whistle lady with the tequila bottle. That's all I'm going to say.
Pouring it down your throat.
That's right.
And are there any videos? That's what I
the
want to
beauty
know.
of the
Are there
air.
any
No
videos?
videos.
Yeah, that was the beauty of that time we went out. There are no videos, Sandy.
We got to grow up off
Right.
camera, which is a
I
refreshing
know, wasn't
thing.
it great? We only have we have the memories that we can continue to share with each other.
Exactly.
So that's all we need.
I don't know if
That's all
it's
we
off theme, but would you like to hear about my weirdest, strangest guys' night out?
No.
Okay, real quick.
What is it?
It was I was 19,
The Sons of Buns?
and it was me and my best friends Tim and Donnie. We're driving from Chicago to Eastern Illinois University, and we got in the car and Donnie was driving, and about 20 minutes into it, he reveals that he had taken acid. Him and Tim had both taken acid, and Donnie's driving, and I'm in the back. So then I took acid, but I'm behind them. I'm late, and we're just chugging beers, and we're on acid, and we're going to Eastern Illinois University. And we ended up pulling over to urinate. Sorry, ladies. And he parked diagonally on the curb. And we got out of the car and a bunch of beer cans spilled out. And I put my beer can on top, the one that I was drinking, and we're all urinating. And a state copper pulls up right behind us. And these two, meanwhile, had stripped naked and were fighting on the side of the road. Naked.
As they do.
As we do.
Yeah.
And a copper pulls up right at that point in time.
Oh.
And so that was fun. So go ahead. Sorry. What's the next
And
one?
what happened?
That's a good
Were you all
story.
arrested?
No, my dad was a cop. Tim's dad was a cop.
Cop kids.
And Donnie was in just
Oh,
Donnie
damn
just came out
cop
of the
kids.
military. We just talked and we were polite to him, and he just said, he's from Southern Illinois. He goes, "This is my yard. This highway is my yard, and you're pissing in my yard. What if I came to piss in your yard?" And we just cleaned everything up, and he didn't even take our beer. That's how it was back then. He didn't even take our beer. Just got us on our way.
Cop kids.
I know.
Those were the days.
Oh my gosh. All right, Sandy, tell us.
So, all right. So the thing is this has never happened to us
No.
before, but we do not have
What?
anybody. We did not have one person
Tell us about
respond.
their girls' night. Why not?
I know. I thought maybe they were reluctant to share. they're not as open as Steve is
Maybe they
about
will be
his
now.
experiences.
I know.
They're like,
Maybe you
oh,
open up.
mine
That's
isn't. Maybe
what I was going to say.
Wow.
my night's not as
That's what I
bad.
was going
A
to
lot
say.
of guilty consciences out there.
I know. I know. It's never too late. This is what I wanted to say. Even though we didn't get any responses since the episode, it's never too late. So please just go ahead and share whatever you want on social media, even if it's something we brought up weeks ago.
Absolutely. We always want to hear from
We
you.
will feature it on a future episode.
What was that?
Change the
Sorry?
names to protect the innocent, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I told. Well, I also said that they could be
Yes.
anonymous too. So that wouldn't work. Like they don't have to post. They could just send us a story, and we'll be
Yeah.
anonymous. We're very proud.
We will, because we do want to hear from you. So we have this week's question for your turn to answer, and Cindy's going to give this week's question.
It's a very good one. I can't imagine you won't get responses for this. Okay,
We better.
here's your question of the week. What's one leap of faith you've taken or are considering taking in your personal or professional life?
I
Well, I
love
like
it.
it.
We want you to share your story with us, and you can reach out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We are now on YouTube. You can email us, and we can share with you your leaps of faith and what you have done to do that. And our next segment, we're going to do the new rule of the week. And of course, we've got to let Steve give the rule of the week this week.
Thank God.
Yes.
Yes.
Steve, what is it?
I would say it sort of ties back into what we've been talking about this entire episode. It's entire
Yes, it does.
conversation. And that is, if it feels right and scary, it's probably worth the risk.
Absolutely.
I really believe that. It's a great rule, because everything I've done, I talked about the three things that I'm most proud of. Every single one of them felt right at the time and scared the living hell out of me.
Right.
So if you're not a little scared, then
It's not worth doing.
it's not where. Yeah,
That's right.
It's got to feel
Big
right.
changes come with a lot of fear, and but if they're for a good purpose, it's you got to jump over those barriers and just do it.
Yeah, and I love I think it was you, Terry, or maybe it was Cindy, but maybe it was both of you. Have a
Probably
plan
me.
B. Have a plan B, but take a shot. Take a shot.
You got it.
Take one
You got
shot.
it.
You know what? You're not going to be on your deathbed going, "Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't try to do that." You're
Right.
never. That's not going to happen to anybody. You're not going to. You don't regret the things you tried. You regret the things
Right.
you tried. So
Exactly.
take a shot. Have a plan B.
Right.
And
Bet
go.
on yourself, right, Steve?
What is it? What's the Avett Brothers lyric? Decide what to be and go be it. By the Avett Brothers.
Yeah,
do you guys play the Avett Brothers on the show at all?
We have not.
We haven't yet.
Inspirational.
We
That's
haven't
my
yet.
favorite lyric. Decide what to be and go be it, and go after it. Get at it. I don't care if you're 50, 55, 60, 45, 40. I don't care. Take a shot.
Right.
You
Never
won't-
too
No,
old.
you're never too old.
Never too old.
Age is just a number. Just you have to go do what makes you happy.
1,000%. I'm
That's
starting
exactly
over.
right.
I'm basically starting over at 58. Really seriously with the business. Anyway,
Yeah.
take it. Take a shot. Bet on yourself.
Right. I mean, I think I think you have to start over every so many years in general because
I agree.
you just
I agree.
become stale, like even like we started over with this podcast, Sandy,
Yeah.
like you just become stale. So just try something new and do something different.
Really,
And
1,000%. I was stagnating
You know.
before I decided on this new route with Zach. I was stagnating.
Yeah.
I know I was, and our marriage probably wouldn't have lasted because she was still working hard, and I was like, well, fuck it, who cares?
Yeah, that would
yeah,
have
I can contest to that your marriage would not have lasted.
Yeah, right.
that would
I
not
would have killed you.
I think our marriage would survive anything. Yeah, romantic, right?
Aw.
All right, guys.
It is.
So I'm going
It
to
is.
give you your challenge of the week as usual. I want everyone to take one small but meaningful step toward making an idea or dream a reality. You can write down your idea in detail, researching what it would take to get started, scheduling a coffee chat with someone who's done something similar. You can buy the domain name, take one small step, tell a friend, I'm thinking about doing this. That's how our podcast started, honestly. We were talking and I just said to Sandy, I'm like, I think we should do a podcast. And we ran with it from there. So
Well, I have to say the original podcast idea did include Cindy, and it included alcohol,
The
and I
shot.
just didn't think we could. I don't think that we could have handled
Shot
it.
sisters.
The shot sister.
The shot sisters.
Guys.
Well, you know what? Maybe we'll
Yeah.
do an episode, shot sister episode, and let's get through that one.
Oh my gosh.
Now, why did Cindy end up getting frozen out of the podcast?
Well, the shot sisters
Well, because
it
Yeah.
just didn't happen.
the
The
idea
idea
changed.
changed.
Yeah.
The idea changed.
It's a different concept.
Different time. All right. Well, this is the end, folks. But thank you so much for coming on again. It's been fun. It's always a good time with you
Thanks for
guys.
having us.
Truly
It was
inspirational.
really fun, and keep doing what you're doing. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
And remember, every road leads somewhere new.
And the best part, we get to make the rules.
But you're my bestie for life.